Hey ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and there's always a money trail, isn't there? This time, we're going to follow that money and find out exactly what's going on. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. So the judge who said that you need a warrant to detain illegal immigrants, to deport them, to arrest them, to use the Alien Enemies Act, the one who is one of the ones, I should say, Judge Thurston, who's getting in the way of the Trump administration, turns out there might be some financial interest for her family. See, her husband works in real estate. He works in real estate, and he kind of specializes in immigrants. And he has a whole mess of videos on his Instagram page discovered by investigative journalist Laura Loomer, who put them together in one video package here that show exactly what this man is about, what he's catering to, how anti-Trump he is, how anti-Trump's immigration policies he is. There's always a money trail. There's always a conflict of interest. You've seen it in so many cases already. I shouldn't say always, but almost always. There's some kind of conflict of interest that makes you scratch your head and say, what the heck is going on here? That's the case with this judge and her husband. And I believe it should be investigated. And if there is found to be a substantial conflict of interest that results in this judge or her husband making more money, she should be disbarred and taken from the bench. I want you to watch this video compiled by Laura Loomer and let me know what you think in the comments.
Immigration policies of the United States are going to be changing shortly. So how will this impact real estate? Central Valley of California, roughly 10 to 30% of the labor that works in new construction is undocumented. But the other factor that nobody's talking about is what happens to all of those laborers that currently rent apartment units or rent houses. So in the agricultural world in the Central Valley, that is upwards of 50% of the employees. So this could result in upwards of 9,500 people being displaced out of their rentals. So as a landlord, you could be in neighborhoods that would see a spike in vacancy. Who is going to backfill those units and how long is that going to take? You need to be very proactive on staying on top of your rents and addressing the needs of your residents in order to keep them happy, prepared to pivot quickly if you end up getting vacancy due to tenants who have been relocated out of the country.
The local community that the immigration services are starting to crack down on undocumented workers in the Central Valley. And I know in Bakersfield, there are approximately 15,000 undocumented workers just in the agriculture and construction industries alone. And we also know that a large majority of these people rent, and they tend to have multiple roommates. And so even if we take 7,500 units that are occupied by those 15,000 people, if those units were to go vacant, that would have a pretty significant impact on our local economy. So this is an issue that the Central Valley of California, as well as the Salinas Valley up near Monterey, need to pay very close attention to moving forward. There's a lot happening in the Bakersfield multifamily market, and if you're investing, you need to pay attention. Recently, school attendance dropped after a major immigration sweep. Why does that matter? Because schools receive funding based on attendance, and when that funding drops, it impacts the overall economy. On the surface, the market looks strong. Values were up 10%, but here's the catch. That growth came from new properties, and resale properties were actually flat last year. We also saw 3 large multifamily sales last year, which accounted for almost 40% of the entire sales. And those numbers alone skew everything. Vacancy rates are up, values are softening, and if immigration policies continue to change, that could really impact the demand for rentals. So what does this all mean? Rent prices could go down, but that's not always a good thing because a slow market could follow. 6 months from now, there might be even better opportunities. But if you know where to look, there are still great deals today.